Hey guys, Kevin here. Just checking in with the midweek update. Not a lot going on in the world of IPOs. What I want to do today is talk a little bit about some of the big stories out there and then follow up with this week's IPOs. As you guys know, there's a lot of focus on a potential stimulus package coming, and so just wanted to let you guys know where things are if you haven't been able to keep up with it. Obviously, nothing has been finalized, signed, sealed, and delivered at this point. But I just want to give you some of the highlights of what is in the bill. So as you guys know, there's been a lot of focus on trying to keep the bill under $1 trillion. And to get right into it, the first part of the package is now they're looking at giving individual checks again. That number is going to be less than it was in the spring. They're looking at $600. More details will come as that comes out. All right, the second part of the package is a $300 enhancement to the unemployment. And that unemployment now will be extended through March. So not what it was initially, under the CARES Act at the $600 number, but there is some enhancements. And over the last couple of months, there has not been any enhanced unemployment benefits. The extension of the unemployment was really important because that was something that was going to end at the end of this year. So getting that done was really one of the main reasons this bill has so much focus on getting it done before the holidays. The next thing we know that's going to be part of this bill, it's really a focus for everybody, is giving some small business relief. Right now that number looks to be around $325 billion, and that's going to include that Paycheck Protection Program that we saw in the CARES program when it first came out. So as we know, we focus a lot on the market, but the small businesses, in all of our communities where it's really struggling. So that's a big part of this bill. The next thing that looks to be included in this bill is $25 billion for rental assistance and food stamps. And this bill should also include an eviction moratorium, which would go through January 31st of 2021. The next thing looks to be around $80 billion for schools and education. And as far as for education, another part of this is giving some relief for student loans. They're looking to extend that until April 2021. And a couple other things that we're expecting to see as part of this bill is testing and contact tracing, expecting around $7 billion or so for that, and then about $2.5 billion for the actual distribution of the vaccine. So again, none of this has been settled. There is a lot of belief that this will get done by the end of the week, potentially voting happening over the weekend, so we'll all keep an eye on that. Now, what's not part of this bill is any funding for state and local governments, which is something the Democrats wanted, and then also there will be no liability shield for businesses, which is something that the Republicans wanted. So how much do we think this bill passing will affect the market? I think there'll be probably a little bump, but I think most of this expected in. There was a lot of expectation that there would be a bill put in place earlier in the year. And that bill that was expected then was going to be at a higher number. This again is under $1 trillion. So I think that the market will respond okay. It'll be a positive to it, but it's not going to send the market up to the moon. If it doesn't get done, that's what's going to hurt the market. So it needs to get done, and it just seems like there's a lot of support that this bill is going to get. There's really nobody publicly coming out from either party saying that that this bill can't get done, and that they're going to hold it up. So anyway, so that was a big thing to talk about for this week. The second thing is today was a big Fed meeting, and this will be a very quick part because not much changed here. We didn't really expect any changes to the interest rates, and they're going to stay at near zero, and that's expected to continue through some time, so no change there. Besides for interest rates, one of the things they did talk about was opting to purchase at least $120 billion in bonds each month, and they said they'll do that until substantial further progress has been made toward the committee's maximum employment and price stability goals. So again, not a lot out of the Fed meeting. Nothing that was completely unexpected. So again, nothing that we'll see to really drive the market one way or the other. And then the last thing I thought I'd check in briefly about is with the IPOs for this week. And we focus a lot of IPOs on this channel. And after last week with DoorDash and Airbnb, there was a lot of question of what was going to happen with Wish. Now, I'm not going to go over all the background of the companies that did come out this week. Again, for that, you can go back to IPO this week that I released on Sunday, and I'll give you the information. But the three that did come out, and they all came out today, was Wish, Upstart, and BioAtla. And Wish was the one that a lot of people had focused on because it is considered one of those unicorns, one of those big unicorns coming out at the end of the year. And again, after the DoorDash and Airbnb thing, we had some of the two other unicorns we were expecting, which was Affirm and Roblox, decided that they were going to hold off until early next year because of the IPO pricing and just making sure they got the right prices. So what was interesting about Wish's IPO was that it priced at the higher end of the range at $24. And I had expectation that this was not going to do what DoorDash and Airbnb did, which I don't know if it takes a rocket science to say that, but I did put that on the video on Sunday. And so I was a little surprised that it priced at the higher end of that range. I thought it would be probably right in the middle or at the lower end. So it priced at $24. Well, then today it opened up at $22.75, which, okay, that just shows you there wasn't all that initial demand. And then right after that, it just stayed lower. It got as high as $23.79, so it never really got to the IPO price. Back down, all the way down to $19.49, before finally settling down at right around $20 at $20.05. Again, there were some reasons why I just didn't feel like the Wish IPO was going to go gangbusters, and I shared a little bit of that with you. But the biggest thing really has been there was just a lack of buzz for this company. So again, not going to go over all that, but just wanted to give a little update on how it did do. The second company that came out was Upstart, and this was a company I felt pretty good about, if you recall in that video. Again, not going to go through everything about them, but they're a cloud-based artificial intelligence lending platform. They actually priced at the low end of their expected range at $20, and I thought that was odd because I just felt that there would be more interest. So I was not surprised when it did open up over the range that they predicted. In fact, it opened up at $26. It went as high as just over $30 at $30.01, came down as low as $22.72 before closing at $29.47. So it's a company I really thought there would be a lot of interest in, and at least as far as day one, it did have a pop from where it opened and actually where it was priced. The last one was an oncology biotech named BioAtla. They priced above their range. They priced at $18, and they did the best of the bunch. They opened at $30.55. They had a high of $32.44 and a low of $27.17 before closing at $31.02. So they had a really good day for day one. Typically with biotechs, it's so hard to know what they're going to do, and you sort of have to have a longer term horizon. So I don't give a lot of comment on them, but again, they hit it out of the park for their day ones. So there's nothing you can take away from them. They definitely had the best day of the three. So this really is the beginning of the slowdown for the IPO market through the rest of the year with the holidays coming up. Now, when we do pick up at the beginning of the year, we do know we have Roblox and Affirm out there sort of on deck, again, because they put theirs on hold. And we'll sort of curious to see how they adjust the pricing, how the IPO end up being priced, and what it will trade. So we'll talk about that, once we get closer. And when I have those dates for you, I'll share them with you. So anyways, that was just a quick update. Just wanted to touch base with you guys. Again, with the IPO market being a little bit slower over the next couple of weeks, I have some ideas for some videos I'm going to do, so I won't give that away yet. Definitely stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. We'd love to have you on board. At this point, I'm going to wish you a good rest of your day, good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.